player numbers still in favor to Xset here. It's down to Angel and Xiao. You want to close it in regulation. This is the round. Xset have dug deeper than I expected.
Xiao and Angel do the unthinkable here.
Okay, by now you've probably all seen this round, the crazy end to the Xset FPX game that had a quote-unquote Killjoy turret bug that made them come back after they'd already walked off stage, reset up, and replay the round. And I just wanted to go through the series of events here because I'm a little bit confused by this ruling. And there is no doubt that there is a strange interaction with the Killjoy turret. It clearly fires in two different directions. One thing I do want to say about that is sometimes the observers don't necessarily see what the players see. So it's a little bit hard to tell whether this is actually what the players saw, what we just saw there on screen, because you can actually see, I'm gonna go ahead and slow this way down, and we're gonna go back and look at what Def sees, because the turret is going to queue on Angel coming through the door here. And you're gonna notice that as the turret queues on Angel coming through the door, Def immediately swings to Heaven. Now, why would he swing to Heaven if the turret is queuing on the door? My guess is that because what we're gonna see is that the turret immediately swings to Heaven and fires a first bullet there, because that's actually what Def saw, is that the turret fired to Heaven first. But in the observer perspective, that's not what we see. So it's kind of confusing, and we don't have the player's perspective to actually know what he saw. But then you're gonna see a second bullet fire towards door. And okay, so there definitely is a bullet that goes towards Heaven. The second one definitely goes towards door, and then the third one goes towards Heaven, and then the turret turns off. And the reason for this appears to be because when Angel comes out of the door, he gets in view, which cues the turret to queue on him. And then as he walks into like the wall right there where he is currently in this spot, so he went from over here to over here. And in that moment, he deactivated the activation range of the turret. So it queued on him and then didn't fire because he deactivated it by going out of range. But then he comes back into range like in such a small amount of time that it still starts firing. But because it's returned to its original position, because he's no longer in view, it fires before it actually swivels back to target him. And so it takes a second of one bullet to target him. Now, again, all of this is within the observer perspective. And we can already see that Def right here on the KO is queued towards Heaven. So he's clearly expecting somebody to come from this direction. And that's a huge deal because information is everything in a situation like this. You have to know where these two players are coming from. So this is obviously a very, very important moment in this round. But then I want to go a step further here because we're going to see Angel kills the turret, and then he's going to go ahead and smoke off the A main entrance. And then they're going to make their way into the site. And this is a really important moment because we saw a haunt fly out from door. And Xset also sees this haunt fly out from door, or they will once it activates. And this piece of utility confirms that Fade must be in door because it's not possible for this to come from anywhere else. And so they know that Fade is here in tree. Now, this is the next moment that's kind of up for debate, because we saw right there's kind of like this really split second as Angel comes out of the door where he sort of comes into vision. We can actually see it right there. There's a sliver of KO here, which based on angle geometry should also reveal the Omen to KO because KO is farther away from this corner right here. So KO should also be able to see Omen if Omen can see KO here, which means that whether Def recognizes this or not, and I'm 99% sure, 100% sure actually, looking at the minimap, Def is facing this direction. So he should be able to see Omen. So if he can see Omen here, and they just saw that the Fade piece of utility came out from here, Xset should know 100% that both remaining players on the side of FPX are coming out of door. So if they know where the two players are coming out of door, then they have the correct information and they should be able to play this round out without any sort of detrimental impact from the turret, other than that initial sort of, confusion about what's going on. Because they now have confirmed two players coming out of door. And if that's the case, then this is just a straightforward 2 against 3. Both people know where where the other team is. But again, we see Def checking heaven. Why is he checking heaven? I don't really know why, because from my perspective, Xset should know that both players are coming out of door. So I don't know why he's checking heaven. Now, we also have to remember that this is an insanely high pressure moment. It's possible he didn't even register what's going on. Maybe he didn't see the omen. Maybe he didn't look at his radar, which would have seen the omen 100%. So it's possible that he just missed the information that was available to him. And so he's still thinking about heaven because of the turret's weird buggy interaction. As a result, he's going to continue to check heaven here. Now I'm going to play this forward again, because we're going to see that as FPX comes out of the door, Def is eventually going to give up on this heaven play. And now we see Fade there. This is going to be communicated from Xset. Okay. They know that Fade is out. We're going to see a player shooting through smoke. Again, Def is still looking in heaven, which is very strange to me, because this just appears to be a lack of communication from Xset and not necessarily the turret, because they know Fade is here. Fade just killed somebody here, and they should hear this other person firing through the smoke to kill the omen. And now Def is going to swing out and die. And so essentially, to me, it looks like Xset had the information available to them and then just lost the round. But it is also clear that Def is still worried about heaven. And so it's not, I don't really know where I stand on this, because there was that weird turret interaction, which made him worry about heaven. But then actual information comes to Xset, which should allow them to play this out normally. But because for whatever reason they didn't pick up on that information, maybe there's too much pressure getting to them, maybe the comms are not there, they end up still worrying about heaven while the rest of the round is playing out, and they lose as a result. And so it's kind of this weird spot where I don't really know what to think, because on one hand, yes, the turret interaction is bad, but on the other hand, Xset had the ability to win the round with the information given to them, and then they just didn't do it. And that's part of Valorant. Sometimes you don't see stuff. Sometimes you don't get correct information because you're just not paying attention, or you don't communicate it well enough. And that's just part of the game. So I don't really know whether this warrants replaying the round. It kind of just seems like they lost the round, but I would love to know what you guys think down below. And I know this is not my normal type of breakdown content, but it was just such a weird situation that I felt like I had to, put my perspective out there and see what you guys think about it.